everybody, it's Christy here at Artful Adventures, and I've got a quick project for us to do today. If you follow the page, you may remember that I said you might want to pick up some of these composition notebooks while they are on sale. Usually during the school sales, it's when you can get them the very cheapest. Now, I don't know, you maybe can get some at somewhere like Dollar Tree during the year that still these run about 50 cents or so during school sales. So I don't know, that's certainly cheaper than if you could get one somewhere like Dollar Tree, but they might have packages that are, 2 for $1. I don't know. Anyway, these are really great little things. And Teeny, I think that's how you pronounce your name. Thanks for joining me today. These are, they're not the prettiest, I don't think. And so it's always kind of fun to, spiff them up a little bit and take care of them. Now, I'm just going to say that you will not be seeing my face today on this. I mean, for my first live, I got everything together and I'm ready to go. Can you really expect me to have to comb my hair and put on makeup for you too? I mean, really. So anyway, we're just going to get started on this. So all you really need on this, and you could go ahead and paint the spine if you wanted to. We're going to use some paper for this project, and a lot of times you may have something, if you have a lot of scrapbook paper on hand, I think there's always something that you hate to just cut up and put behind something and not really have a lot of chance to look at it again. So this is always kind of a great way to use a pretty piece of paper that you would like to still be able to view. So I have this one. This is one from, I believe this was from Stampin' Up, and I've had it for some time. I think it's just a beautiful piece of paper. And so I really hated to cut it all up. And on the back, it actually has this little tiny black dot for the pattern. And so I thought, well, that would be kind of cool to use actually for the spine. So I did find this piece of paper that was from an old pack of Close to My Heart that I had on hand. And so I thought, well, that would be, fun. Now, usually I do the dimensions for the front and the back by just, measuring across here. And this is kind of hard. Let me see if I can put this over here. Might be easier to see. So I usually just measure about how far across that I want to do that, and that's about 6 3/4. But I was thinking, well, if you put your spine piece, if you covered it a little bit farther over, that, why not just go the 6 inches and make the spine piece bigger, and you could cover the front and the back with just the one single piece of paper. So that's what we're going to do today. And I'm just going to use that for the front and the back. And then this is about 9 3/4 tall. So I think that's kind of a standard size for these notebooks. And so I'm just going to go ahead and cut this. Hi, Jet and Hannah. Thanks for joining me. So I'm going to cut off the bottom or the top, whichever you need for your page. So 9 3/4 tall is our little notebook. So I will slice that off. And then I'm just going to cut this in half. It's a 12-inch paper, so I'll just cut it at 6 inches. And that's all I need to do for my front and back. And now then for the spine, so if we've got let's measure again here and see what we're going to have to do. We'll just cut the back at the same time. So if we're going to go 6 inches across here, that leaves us coming clear into here. So if I just measure from the middle of the spine over, that's about, about 1.5 inches. So I want to cover the paper. I want it to come over the edge of the paper when I get it on here. And so, let's see. So I think I'll actually do 1 3/4. And so that puts us at what, 3.5, I think. I hope so. Let me check that out. If I do 1 3/4 in here, about 3.5. Yep, if it looks, I'll go ahead and cut it like that. Okay, math is not my strong suit. So now you know, I'm just going to be honest. So let's do 3 3/4 for that. Oh, this is a pretty piece on the other side too. I think I'll cut it off this way. So 3 3/4. If I mess it up, it's only a piece of paper and I'll do it again. So we've got our width here, or our length. No, the width. Ah! Oh my goodness. And then again, the 9 3/4 for the height of the notebook. Okay, there we go. I hope you guys are having a great start to your fall weather. I know some people have already had snow. Oh my goodness. Up in Wyoming and Colorado, they already had snow. Okay, so let's just take this. I'm going to just take our book here, and all I'm going to do, I like to use a little bit of glue, wet glue, so that I've got a little bit of time for some wiggle room. You could just go ahead and use your adhesive, any kind of adhesive, some tape runner or whatever, but I just find that I don't like to do that on things like this because I may not get it. And I've got this teeny tiny nozzle. I filled this from a much bigger jar, and this is something that I found from a lady online, and it's called reptile glue. And it is fabulous. I mean, if you're going to do any paper crafting or anything, it is just a great glue. And she was right. She just raved about it. She uses it all the time. So we're just going to line this up here along the edges. Get that on straight on the top and the bottom. And then just make sure it's down good. I'll use my ruler to get this on. There's several of you that have joined for my first time. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Okay, and then we'll just get this onto the back. These are really fun. You can just make them for, whatever you want. I like to have one to keep notes for a certain project or something. And then actually, since you've got it covered with, some particular piece of paper, you can really, you can see just at a glance which one that you're looking for. So I kind of like that. I had one of these. Now, the first time I ever made one, I really was kind of leery about how well that it would hold up with just being, paper on paper. And looks like that paper's a little bit long, but I'd rather have it too long than too small, I guess. And anyway, that thing held up for the longest time. It was, even the binding on the back, just that paper cover to the spine, it lasted a long time. In fact, if I knew where it was, it probably still is in good shape. Okay, so now this paper, what did we decide it was? It's 3 3/4. And it's a little bit long. I am going to cut like another 1/4 inch off of it, just to allow more of my pretty paper to show. Who is that organized? Oh my goodness, when you got your friends here and they know you, they know all the secrets, don't they? Okay. Some of the ladies on here I've known for a long time online, from an online group called Scrap Happy, and we also have had in-person reunions for many years, and so it's so much fun to get to know a group not only online but in person, and we've just had the best time. And it was so sad because we had to cancel our reunion this year. Okay, so this time, I'm just going to put on some, this is kind of wide, but it's what I had. I'm going to put on just a double-sided adhesive strip, a little bit stickier, so that, I think that spine is going to take a little bit of, bending and whatnot, and I want to make sure that it stays on as good as possible. I'm trying to get my little, okay, so while I'm here in all my glory of non-manicured hands or anything else, it's just me. And by the way, if anybody knows any super duper wonderful thing for dry cuticles, be sure and share that with me. I have the driest cuticles on earth, and it's just always a struggle. So I think I'm just going to leave that. I'm not going to put any glue on this. Well, I might put it on one side to also give me a little bit of wiggle room as I apply it. So I'm going to take one side off. And did you know this? I didn't know this for a long time, but if you put a little bit of wet glue on your adhesive like this, you've even got a better chance of not only adhering great, but whatever. Okay, so here's the front, and this is what I like to do. I like to take the front and go ahead and apply it here first, and that way I know I've got it on straight, and then I can just fold it over. So I'm just going to fold that on, take the backing off of this one, and then I'm just going to like gently roll it so that we don't really crack the paper. Some paper is bad about cracking, some is not. But if you just kind of give it a gentle roll, I think it always gives you a better chance of having a nice look on the paper. Okay, so that didn't take as long, did it? Okay, now, I thought this was kind of, plain. It's pretty like that. But I had these little fairy dies, and I thought I would just take one of those and put it on here. And I actually have been working on updating my website. Actually, it's kind of in a temporary spot for now. But I made a little store, and I've got a couple of little things in there. And so I made a whole little set of these. So sometimes, who wants to have to buy every die on earth? And so I've got some of these little dies that you might pick up if you want to. And so I'll link those down at the bottom of the video when it posts. So you can go back and check there if you want to, if you're interested. So these little things with these little blue things, a lot of people like to run these through a Xyron or something. And even though that's supposed to be great, sometimes I just don't have the best luck at that. I end up having little strips of, like, what's the nice way to say it? Glue boogers. That's the only way I can think of. Okay. Oh, Jet says olive and June cuticle serum. Actually, I think I heard somebody else say something about that. I'll have to check that out. I could certainly use something great. I've used everything under the sun over all these years. Okay, and I think that's what I'm going to do. Who knows? Maybe I'll put something else on there later. But, I don't like to put anything two-dimensional on because it will, if you're going to have them piled up, then they're just kind of, that if you've got too much dimension, they kind of are too bulky. And if you wanted to, you could also put something on, a little string or something on for, for a closure. But anyway, I think that's going to be it. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Just as something, quick and easy, a little project. I think if you wanted to, not only could you paint the spine, you could, just paint the whole thing and do something fun on it if you wanted to. Let me look here and see if I can go back to any comments, and let me see. I have not tried to get back into comments and see how this works. Okay. I know we've got people from all over. Okay. Oh my goodness. I didn't know you had 6 inches of snow, Hannah. Oh my word. It's just too early for that. It can just be, that winter can just go on too long anyway. And I know after living like 28 years up in Minnesota, winter is a long thing to go through. So anyway, but anyway, thanks so much for joining me today, and I hope to do more Facebook Lives in the future. I hope you guys have a great weekend. I also put a little free coloring page out today. It's very simple. It's nothing very intricate, but you know, some people might be looking for an extra little thing to print out for the kids. If you want to print it out and use it on something else, you're welcome to do that. It's there on the website, and it's posted on the Facebook page. You can find it through that way too. Thanks so much. Anybody else have any questions? I'll wait for a second, see if anybody's got any questions. And it's in the 80s and 90s now. I know it's 85 down here in Fort Worth today. That's not too bad. That's more tolerable. I like it cooler. My husband thinks it's like getting cold. He likes the heat. I'm not real fond of that, but anyway. Well, I don't see any other questions coming in. Thanks so much. You guys have a great weekend. Bye bye.